All right, y'all. Back again with another lesson. Once again, we are all gathered here together for another fellowship. Today, we're going to be continuing where we left off from last time, which is Colossians Chapter 4. But before I get to that, brothers and sisters, as always, I got to do the infamous mic check. So if you brothers and sisters can hear me well, if there's no graining noise, no in and out sounds, no popping noise, anything weird like that, no wind noise, just go ahead and put a 7 in the chat for me so I know everything is all good. All right, brothers and sisters, I definitely appreciate that. Appreciate your participation because, again, I don't know if something's going on unless you guys tell me. So before I get started, uh, just remember, brothers and sisters, Tuesday will be, or I should say, Wednesday is when we will be memorializing the Day of Atonement, the atonement that Christ made for the children of Israel. So we're going to be memorializing the atonement, and that's going to begin Wednesday, October 1st at 10 a.m. So again, we're going to be memorializing the atonement Wednesday, October 1st at 10 a.m. Okay. And we're going to see how this atonement was about Christ and his sacrifice for us, brothers and sisters. So that's what we'll be going over. Okay. But we're going to get into a little bit of this Colossians chapter 4. And I just want to say, brothers and sisters, before I get started, you know, when we look at this Bible, we have to change the way that we look at this Bible. This is not some goody two shoes, good boy, little good girl book. Okay. This is a government book. Okay. This is government that we're dealing with. This is Christ's government. This is Christ's government versus Satan's government. But we've been taught that this is some type of religion. But it's not. This whole thing we looking at, this thing is government. And so naturally, when it comes to this fourth beast, whose ruler is Satan, we are Satan in this fourth beast natural enemy. Because you got to understand with this, when we talk about the gospel, this gospel is dealing with the abolishment, brothers and sisters, of Satan's government and the abolishment of the people who carry his government, which is the heathens and the Israelites who take on this government and love that government of Satan. They're going to get took out as well. So this gospel that we're teaching, brothers and sisters, this thing is dangerous. You know, this thing ain't about just getting right, living your life to be some good boy and good girl. No, this is about taking on Satan's government head on. You talk about taking down powerful corporations, powerful businesses. Do you realize, brothers and sisters, that's what you're up against? You're up against powerful corporations, powerful businesses, the rich men, the kings of the earth. This is who you are up against. We are actively trying to abolish them and their government. And according to the words of the Lord, it's going to happen too. And the more that we begin to rise up as God's people, because it's more than just rising up as God's people. When we rise, God's government rises and it begins to prevail. So naturally, don't be shocked, in the near future, it's going to be a witch hunt for us. But we have no need to worry, because God is going to endow us with power. There's no stopping this thing. So we have no fear. But I just want to let you know that's what you up against. The kings of the earth, the rich men and their businesses, their corporations, their government, which is their practices, how they operate. So when the Lord is saying things like, hey, come out of her, my people, he ain't just telling me stop being a bad little boy and a bad little girl in Babylon. No, he's telling you to leave their government. Don't operate how it operates. Operate under my government, under my system. I want you doing that right now among this government, because later my government, the one that you're practicing, that's what's going to prevail on this earth. And if you can't do it down here, you ain't going to do it later when I come back and it's the dominant government on this earth. So make no mistake, brothers and sisters, we are Satan in the fourth beast. We are their natural enemy, naturally. Because if our government prevails as Christ, because remember, we are Christ too. If our government prevails as Christ, that means they're going to be ousted. That means there's no room for Satan and the heathen in their government. They're going to be ousted. So pretty soon, guess what? We're going to be met with resistance. And once a lot of our brothers who out there teaching on the streets and stuff, once they understand that that's what this thing is about, government, that's when they're going to truly become formidable and a threat. Because make no mistake, the powers that be, they're watching. And they're looking and they're like, okay, they ain't really a threat to us yet, because they still talking about being a good little boy and a good little girl. But it's when you start affecting their government, you start affecting the money. Like Paul was, like Peter was, like Christ did. Because remember, our people, when we were back in the land, okay, of Israel, remember, our people, at least our leadership, the kings, right? They rejected the government of God. And they took on the government of Satan via they love of the heathen, via interracial marriage. It ain't just interracial marriage and loving the heathen. No, when you do those things, you're taking on their government, which is Satan's government, i.e. why Solomon got in trouble. It wasn't about the women, silly. Right. It's about taking on Satan's government through those women, because they brought that mess. But when the people started complaining, and the kings and the merchants, brothers and sisters, Revelation 17, they work hand in hand. The merchants, they make the kings of the earth rich, and in turn, the kings of the earth, they protect the merchants or these rich mans with what? That gun, with that policy, to ensure that this money can keep coming in. Donald J. Trump The rest of these prime ministers and all of these leaders, they do not work for the people. What kind of law, not what kind of law, what kind of lie have they been sold? The people. No, they work for the merchants. And the merchants work for them. They work for each other. And I told you guys, with Satan, it is that upside down world. He's got his pseudo kingdom going just like Christ. As above, so below. So those kings and those merchants, they're the family of God on this earth today. Except their God is Satan. But they're the family of gods on this earth. And all brings their wealth to what? Them. But that's our rightful place, brothers and sisters. But you know, Satan, he's a great emulator. That's what he does. Okay. So I just want y'all to understand that that's what this Bible is all about. It's about government. It's not about being no good boy or good girl. You need to throw that mess out your mind. All right, but we're going to get started, brothers and sisters. Colossians chapter 4. But before we start Colossians 4, we're going to go back to Colossians chapter 3. And we're going to just read a few scriptures so we can continue the thought going into Colossians chapter 4. Okay. So Zahar, when you get there, go ahead and read Colossians chapter 3, verses 22 through 25.
Servants, obey in all things your masters according to the flesh.
That's right, because whether you want to accept it or not, God put someone over you. Okay. Whether it's at your job, whether it's rulership in the world, whether you're a child, you have parents, somebody is over you. Obey in all things your masters according to the flesh. Go ahead.
Not with eye service as men pleasers.
And we got a lot of them in this system. Go ahead.
But in singleness of heart, fearing God.
And singleness meaning in sincerity of heart, because you're fearing God. So you're not doing the right thing because you're seeking some reward from whoever, for some authority figure above you, seeking a reward. You're seeking to be recognized by them. No, you doing it because you understand that God is watching. And so whether your earthly master is watching or not, you're always doing the right thing. Why? Because you understand that it's God that recognizes. It's God that exalts. It's God that hands out what? The rewards. So you ain't even worried about your earthly master. Yeah, do you respect them? Yeah, but you ain't worried about them at all because you understand. Verse 23.
And whatsoever you do, do it heartily as to the Lord.
Notice it didn't say unto your earthly master. It say unto the Lord. Because the Lord is actually your real master. He has the power to destroy you or greatly bless you, to abase you and to exalt you, not your earthly master. They can abase you, and tomorrow God will have you exalted above your master that abased you. Your earthly master can exalt you. But my God, if God wants you abased, that next day you're going to be abased. Go ahead.
And not unto man.
That's right. 24.
Knowing that of the Lord you shall receive the reward of the inheritance, for you serve the Lord Christ.
That's right.
But he that doeth wrong shall receive for the wrong which he have done, and there is no respect of persons.
Meaning everybody gonna get what's coming to them. That's what he's telling you. You do evil, you gonna get got. But if you do well in the sight of the Lord, he gonna bless you. That's why with our kings, if you look back in the Old Testament, when our kings reigned, it said, and this king did not that which pleased the Lord. But that king wasn't worried about God. He thinking about earthly stuff. Yeah, I'm running this city, running that city, got these heathen women over there and, just doing earthly thing. I got a family. God don't care about none of that junk. Are you pleasing me? That's the one variable that man never considers is God. That's the one variable they always leave out all of their little plans. All right. But that's it, brothers and sisters, for that. And now we're going to continue in Colossians chapter 4. We're going to read verses 1 and 2. And when you get there, go ahead.
Masters, give unto your servants that which is just and equal.
Because in Satan's government, that's not how it gets down. No, the master accumulates and gets everything. They grows everything. And the servants, they don't get anything. They're left destitute and poor. They get used up like a washcloth. That's it. Not even left out to dry, but disposed of and burned. But Christ say, hey, listen here, under my system, under my government, you're a master, you're an authority figure. He said you need to give your servants that which is just and equal. If you eating, they eating too. If you in the house, they in the house too. You get benefits, they getting benefits too. Not you get everything and they don't have anything. Not even a pot to piss in. Knowing what?
Knowing that you also have a master in heaven.
And that's right. And that's the one thing that we need to understand, brothers and sisters. So if you're an authority figure, you have to be very careful because you have a master in heaven. And he's the one providing for you, that give to you and can also take away. And that right there, knowing you have a master in heaven, that's why too, we don't be worrying about wicked authority figures.
That's right.
Wicked rulers, because we understand that right there. As servants, we understand that. There's a master in heaven. I ain't got a kowtow, shuck and jive and put on heel spurs and dance on the wooden floor for the master. I ain't got to do none of that. Because I got a master in heaven that I depend on. I know he's the one that gives and he takes away. Verse 2.
Continue in prayer and watch in the same with thanksgiving.
Now, when it says continue in prayer and watch in the same with thanksgiving, brothers and sisters, this applies to both the master or the authority figure, which some of you are. Some of you are masters, some of you are authority figures. And then there are some of us, we are servants. But this applies to both. He says continue in prayer. And this prayer, he's talking about what? Supplication. He's letting you, God is letting you know, hey, if you have any needs, if there's anything you need, if there's anything you desire, anything you want, just come to me. You do not have to do evil. And Satan, that's why he want to shut your spiritual eyes. He wants you focused on man. That's all you can see. Because he don't want you knowing that there is someone that you can go to that can provide all your needs outside of him. He don't want that. Because as long as you think he's the only one that can provide all your needs and your desires and wants, guess what? You gonna only do what he tell you to do, and he wants you to do some evil, which is to hurt your brothers and sisters. So as a master, guess what? I ain't got to rip off my employees. I ain't got to rip off my associates. I ain't got to rip customers off and lie to them and deceive them. I know I can have an honest business and do the right thing because I go to the Most High. And the Lord opened up opportunities and doors for me the honest way to get gain honestly without hurting anybody, without having to lie to anybody. That's how the Lord wants us to get down in his system. All right. But let's go real quick to Leviticus 19 and 13. Because it says you got to be careful, knowing that you have a master in heaven. Leviticus, I'm trying to turn my Bible. I got this iPad right here. Leviticus 19 and 13. Okay. And when you get there, go ahead.
Thou shalt not defraud thy neighbor, neither rob him. The wages of him that is hired shall not abide with thee all night until the morning.
Because that's not loving your brother and sister. And then, too, also, you have to put yourself in that situation. Work, labor, and toil for somebody just for them to turn around and not give you anything. Or just give you peanuts. You'll be crying out. You'll be angry. You'll be upset. You'll be praying, rebelling. This isn't right, man. And you're going to make the Lord real mad. But essentially, what it's telling you is if you're a master or you're an authority figure, it ain't even just talking about job, but it's talking about, whether you're a parent, you're a husband, any type of authority figure, if you a darn coach on a football team, don't take advantage of people under you. That's what he's getting at. Don't take advantage of people. It's not right. Okay. Now we're going to go to Malachi 3. Malachi chapter 3. Okay, Malachi 3, and we're going to read verse 5. When you get there, go ahead.
And I will come near to you to judgment, and I will be a swift witness against the sorcerers, and against the adulterers, and against false swearers, and against those that oppress the hireling in his wages.
Okay, and so it's letting you know. So the people who is committing these things are rulers, leaders, masters, authority figures. And this is how they get down, brothers and sisters, in Satan's government. This is how they get their great gain through what? Oppression.
That's right.
Through sorcery, which is deceit, playing mind games, deceiving people, being dishonest. See, it even talk about that against what? False swears. Swearing falsely. Yeah. Contract say one thing, you do a whole nother thing. We got a lot of that in this system.
Yep.
Hey man, you told me the total price for this whole project was going to be, $2,800. Yeah, but it actually ended up being 10,000. Don't worry about the country. It actually ended up being 10,000 just because the extra parts and the labors. Yeah, bro, but the contract say, see, the Lord say, I'm gonna come get you. He said, against those that oppress the hireling in his wages. Got a lot of that going on today. That oppress who? The widow. Okay, and we got a lot of that here too. In the what?
The fatherless.
In the fatherless.
And that turn
Because I'm sorry, because see, these are the people that is the most vulnerable. That could be easily taken advantage of. So he said, I'm gonna come get you. Boy, you taking advantage of these type of people. And that turn aside the what?
Stranger from his right. And fear not me, saith the Lord of hosts.
Verse 6.
For I am the Lord, I change not. Therefore, you sons of Jacob are not consumed.
So it lets you know that even our people, they had adopted this same system that we're under right now, brothers and sisters. Now, first of all, this system, or excuse me, let me just change the verbiage. This government, brothers and sisters, that we're under right now, this government has been since the days of Adam.
Passed down.
Yeah, passed down. And see, when Adam, it was more than just he ate from the tree he was supposed to. Now he fell from grace. Lord have mercy. Now he gonna start dying. And he ain't no longer right with God. No, brothers and sisters, when Adam fell, that was the same as him rejecting the government of God and taking on the government of Satan.
Yep.
And ever since then, we've seen the same government that we under right here throughout all of time. And the poor, the disadvantaged, the widows, the fatherless, the poor, these are the victims of this government. And it's the rulers, it's the rich men, the kings. They have always benefited, brothers and sisters, from Satan's government. A few rich, while there is a sea of poor. A sea of people left desolate and untended to. Sheep with no shepherd. And then what my mama said this morning makes them heathens some darn hypocrites. To my son, oh, socialism and stuff. We don't believe in all of that, and we believe in capitalism and stuff like that. But then they claim to be Christian, right? But you wanting the kingdom of God and everything Christ worked for, ain't that socialism? Because you didn't work for any of that. Christ did. And you want to be a part of his kingdom. You want all the riches, the glory, the honesty, and all of that.
You want him to share that.
You want him to share that with you. Huh? But when it come to the people, screw them. They be some number one hypocrites. Go ahead, tell.
Original. I just wanted to read James chapter 1 and verse 26. 27. Because we were talking about here, the Lord said, don't oppress the hireling and his wages, the widow and the fatherless. Well, this is why James said this in verse 27. Pure religion,
that's right,
and undefiled before God and the Father is this, to what? Visit the fatherless and widows, that same group that we're reading about. Visit the fatherless and the widows in their affliction, and to keep himself unspotted from the world. This is what he says pure religion is. And what in the things that what he's talking about essentially here is the government. So we're practicing this government even though we're under this current government.
Exactly.
And so We're supposed to be a sanctuary for these vulnerable groups here. That's why Jesus said should be like a city on a hill. You think of a city has a government.
Yeah.
It's a kingdom. So that's what we're supposed to be for our people. But do we see our brothers and sisters who claim to be serving God? Do we see them doing this
They
for our people?
operating in the system.
Here it is, Mama Keziah is a widow, and we are fatherless. And we haven't heard from any of these Israelite preachers and their camps and churches reach out to us to do what we just read about.
Yeah.
Because why? They're a part of this system.
Mm-hmm.
They think like this system. They think like this government. You better look out for yourself.
Exactly.
Do
That's what
what
this
you got to
government
do.
said.
And we hate y'all. So that's why we ain't reaching out.
Right. And
Well, according to Christ, you're not fit for his government.
that's right.
Why you be all religious? This is what the Lord is saying. So you're over here operating religiously. Even if you call yourself an Israelite, you're still religious because you're not doing these things right here. James telling you what a pure religion is.
You still hooked to Satan's government.
Mm-hmm.
That's why the Lord said, "Be in the war, but not of the war." What was he talking about, though?
Mm-hmm.
He was talking about that government.
The government.
You among this government, but you ain't operating in it. Okay. Now I think we read all of Malachi.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we read that verse 5. Okay. And now we're gonna go to James chapter 4. Because it says continue in prayer, and this is something, and continue in prayer meaning you bring your supplications, your needs, your desires and wants, you bring that to the Most High. You ain't got to oppress, destroy, lie, and deceive. You don't have to do any of those things. That's why it says continue in prayer. So now we're going to take a look at, and that's whether you are an authority figure or a servant. You do not have to resort to evil. James chapter 4, and we're going to read verses 2 and 3. Okay. And when you get there, go ahead.
You lust and have not.
Mm-hmm.
You kill and desire to have, and cannot obtain. You fight and war, yet you have not, because you ask not.
That's right.
You ask and receive not, because you ask amiss, that you may consume it upon your lust.
Because you greedy. That's why. That's what he's saying. You have no need for the things you ask of, because you just straight up greedy. And they don't involve helping your brothers and sisters at all. Lord, I want to win this 800 million.
So that's what they do on this government.
Exactly. So
killing and
so you could consume it upon your lust. So I can get these resources so I can live it up, because it gives me access to be able to fulfill my lust. That's why, not to help my fellow man, not to help my fellow brother. But anyway, out of that, it says because you ask not. So you resort to violence, you resort to deceit, because you refuse to ask God, because they understand that the Lord is a God of diligence. On top of, he wants you living right, which is to do what? Treat your brothers and sisters as you would treat yourself. And men don't want to do that. Men, the true nature of men and women, they don't want to share. That's the flesh. I don't want to share. I want everything to myself. I don't want to have to look out for anybody. I want to do my thing. Now, back to Colossians chapter 4. You know, I was showing my mom and my sister something this morning. It was on like one of the government websites. Let me bring it up right here so I can see. Hold on, y'all. We was talking about something this morning. Let me go to my reading list. Now, I was looking at the biggest U.S. companies ranked by the total revenue or sales over the past 12 months, meaning how much they raked in or grossed over the past 12 months, meaning this past year. And at the top of the list, now we know they ain't gonna report all the money they making. We know that for a fact. They only gonna show you what they want you to see. It says Walmart. This just Walmart now. This ain't talking about all the other ones. It says Walmart, for example, in a year they gross $693 billion. And I know they're actually in the trillions. They just not gonna report that. They're gonna just let you see what they want to see. $693 billion. Divide that by 12. They're making approximately $58 billion a month. Now you mean to tell me, and then they claim it's a little less than that after taxes. But you mean to tell me out of all that money, you can't pay your workers? Because all them taxes and all that stuff they pay anyway, it goes to the other rich brothers. So they circulating the money among each other. Don't be fooled. Them taxes that they give go right back into their own pocket. Don't be fooled at all. But you mean to tell me, and they in the trillions. I don't believe this billion mess. They in the trillions. I'm not fooled at all. You mean to tell me you can't pay your workers? These people that's crying out. No. They're businessmen. So we know, like I told my mother and my sisters, their MO is they're going to cut costs. Because they're businessmen. That's what they do. They cut costs. We got to get rid of the leeches that's affecting our money. And we know the biggest leech or their biggest liability is the people. That's why they're replacing the people with what? Machines. They're replacing the people with what? AI. Because see, people, they need breaks. They need vacations. People get injured. People can file lawsuits. People can do this. People can do that. And that affects what? The money. So if we get rid of the people, we can really be stacking the bread. So this number, especially in the route that things are going right now, that number is probably going to double. With the amount of workers they taking out and replacing with AI and self-checkout machines, that's going to probably double, maybe even triple. And who that money going to? The gods of Satan's government, which is the kings and the merchants. They what Christ is finna do for us and make us. They the pseudo gods of this pseudo government.
And you know, Reggie Jr., not only that, I had saw a video where the Walmart fuel workers that they do have, especially the ones that where the people do the self-checkout, they stand at the well, basically all of them, they gotta wear body cams to make sure people ain't in there stealing their product. Now you ain't even paying me that much, but you want me to run down somebody with a pack of chicken? No, ma'am, no,
It ain't
sir.
happening.
And the one worker said that, hey, you want us to walk around with these body cams on. And he looked up like how much the system costs, because wearing the body cam, it still involves a system behind the scenes that you have to pay to keep the cameras rolling basically on each employee. He said, why that money just wasn't given to us as a raise.
Remember, they claim they ain't had the money.
Right.
I told you, brother. So this Satan's system, that's how they get down. And the poor, the disadvantaged, they are the enemy of the government. You're the liability. You're the leeches and the blood suckers of this government.
Right.
And the Lord, like, see, I tried to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
But y'all rejected my government. Remember, y'all said I was mean. I just wanted to control some. But look at these men over here.
Mm-hmm.
They controlling you, terror. Everything you said that I was, they actually doing it to you. And you hollering. He say, but under my government, there's peace. There's freedom. There's honesty. I have it the way you can walk around in your neighborhood, all the doors unlocked. That's how peaceful my government is. Now we hollering. And remember, this system that we in right now, we complaining about, hey, don't be no darky. Our ancestors adopted this same system. So don't you dare say nothing. Man, no, I don't want to hear none of that. Our ancestors, they rejected God's system and they took this system on right here that we under right now. That's why we here. You want to reject my system? I'm going to make you live under it. Welcome to captivity. All right. Now, back to Colossians chapter 4. And we're going to read verses 3 and 4. So back to Colossians 4. We're going to read verses 3 and 4. And when you get there, go ahead.
Withal, praying also for us, that God would open unto us a door of utterance, to speak the mystery of Christ.
Which is Christ in you. And with Christ being in you, guess what? You're going to be the arbiters, or you're going to manifest and bring forth this government that's going to overthrow the current government, Satan's government. Okay, go ahead.
For which I am also in bonds.
Okay, because Christ is a government killer. That's what he is. That I may what?
That I may make it manifest as I ought to speak.
Okay, so he's telling the brothers and sisters, pray with him that they are able to speak the gospel or the word freely without suppression. Because you got to remember what they was preaching us is, again, it was more than just about being a good boy and a good girl. Some Born in the Dinosaur stuff. This was about destroying that system that is currently in place by Satan. That's what it's all about. And telling these Israelites, hey, come from up under this system, build the government and the system of God. We gonna make this system, this government great. And it's this system and government that's gonna topple and destroy that government. And see, people that benefit from Satan's government, they have a problem with that. Hey, I'm benefiting from this. I don't want the system destroyed that I'm benefiting from. So guess what? I'm finna go after you. That's why they came after Paul. That's why the chief priests and the scribes and them Pharisees and stuff, that's why they was going after these guys. Because they was benefiting from this government. They had palaces, brothers and sisters. They had royal garments, all of these things. Through what? Oppression, this deceit. Through murder, which is war. Through this system that allowed for those things. They benefited from that. So when Christ coming talking about getting rid of that government and that system and that way of doing things, you to my Christ up there to my equal wealth distribution and all that, man, they wasn't trying to hear that mess. Listen, look, Christ, we ain't trying to hear about no equal wealth distribution and nah. They said we got to take him out of here. And anybody else who follow after him and his government, we're going to have to take him out of here. That's what we up against, brothers and sisters. That is what we are up against. We are not up against the Christians, Mormons, the Catholics. We ain't up against none of that. We are up against the kings and the rich men and the rich women, the merchants. That's who we are up against. All that other stuff, that's just a distraction. Okay. And you read that verse 4 in Colossians?
Yes, sir.
All right. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to go to 2 Thessalonians chapter 3.
Yep, Sister Judy, you're correct. The greedy, she said, the greedy don't want nothing rivaling them. And that's why, family, they are not just and equal. That's why, I heard somebody say earlier in the comments, it seemed like they have all of the money for everybody except for us. Because what you got to understand is it's more than you just getting resources. They holding it back because if I give it to you, that'll make you on the same level as me.
Right.
And we only, this group here who have sold out to Satan, we only want to be the rulers.
We're the guys.
Right. That's why Jesus tells you, in my government, we're going to share. You're going to share in the inheritance. This government here is not going to do it, because then that makes you what? That'll make you lords, masters, and rulers too.
Exactly.
No, we need y'all to be our slaves.
That's right.
That's how we benefit.
Mm-hmm.
That's how we get our wealth. Well, Jesus is saying, not in my kingdom. So that's what we're talking about here. We're talking about governments. It was never about religions or whatever else. No, it's about government. That's why in Isaiah it says the government shall be on Christ's shoulder. Government. That's what we're looking at.
Yeah. And you're exactly right, Zahari. So that's why when you go back to 1 Samuel and you read about how Samuel's sons walked not after his ways, and we know Samuel walked after the ways of God's government. And Samuel's sons, what? They wanted that money.
Mm-hmm. That's right, Mama. You're right.
And they were what? Judges.
Mm.
And then after that, the people tell Samuel, matter of fact, we want a king. We don't want to be under God's government no more. We done looked at the other nations' government, and we want one like we want to operate how they operate. So God said, go ahead. And then when you read down, it tells you what this government does.
Exploitation and oppression.
He warned
taking
them.
your fields and all of that.
Taking your fields, taxing you, all of that. God
That's
say
right.
that's what come with that. But did Israel listen? Nope. So God, in true fashion, he gonna give you what you want. Remember, he said you have not because you ask not. You gonna ask me, I'm gonna go ahead and give it to you.
That's right.
That's right. And he laid it out on the table. So see, that's what we've been looking at.
That's why the Lord was telling Israel, hey, don't make leagues with the nations.
Yes.
Don't marry the other nations. It was more than just, oh yeah, see, just mixing and all that. No, because in doing so, you gonna take on their government,
right?
Which was given by Satan. I gave you my government. That's all you need.
Right.
And it was gonna be through my government that the nation see the wisdom in it. Through that government that I have given you. But instead, you took on their government.
Oh, and then I was going to say something else, because I thought I had seen a comment concerning the antichrist. And another thing, because we learned this from religion, they say, oh, we waiting on some antichrist. We waiting on some, evil government going to rise up. It's been here.
Yeah.
What is you waiting on?
Right.
And Israel, we should know that, because we've been under this beast. What you talking about? You waiting on some pope, you waiting on some evil government to rise up,
It's
then
here right now.
great tribulation gonna rise up. We're under it now. And we've been under it since we've been in captivity.
And as far as the Antichrist has nothing to do with the heathen.
Yes,
Antichrist had everything to do with the physical flesh and blood children of Israel rejecting Christ. That's what Antichrist was, the rejecting of the Messiah. And of course, what we talk about now in his government. That's what Antichrist was.
And right. And I brought that up because, when we talk about government and stuff like that, we have Israelites who have been deceived and they believe it's some future government that's going to rise up, some future leader who going to bring about this oppressive government. Again, we've been under it. What is you waiting on?
Right.
The government is here now. This wicked evil system is in place now. What are you talking about? What can get worse than what we've already been through?
Yeah.
What do you mean you waiting on a great tribulation?
And actually we are in the days of heading towards our restoration.
Right.
Because this word is going forth.
Was not slavery great tribulation from the government that used our fathers and mothers to work their fields without pay? What is that? While they were being mistreated, all manner of atrocities befell them. That wasn't great tribulation. We waiting on it. So that go to show you our people have been brainwashed.
Right.
Mainly by this here Christianity. No, we've been under the wicked government. When we departed from the government of God, God put us up under these wicked governments: Babylon, Medo-Persia, Greece, and now we're under Rome. So what are we talking about? Well, sister, because I read in Revelation where it was talking about the mark of the beast. It's here now.
Yeah, it's
What
here
are you
now.
talking about? You waiting on a mark? It's here now. It's the difference between those who are in God's kingdom, those who are a part of God's government is sealed.
Yeah.
For the kingdom to come. That's going
right.
to rule next on this earth. And those who are a part of Satan's government are marked. What are you talking about? You waiting on something?
That's right. And the funny thing is, where do we get that from? From this beast. From this heathen man and this heathen woman. They taught you that. The Bible didn't teach you that. They taught you that.
Think about it. The mark of the
or
who?
the seal of the beast.
The beast. And we know the beast is who? This fourth beast that's currently ruling right now. We know who they are. It's these heathens. So if we have a mark, and a mark is a sign, we can read this in Ezekiel 9. And he said it's in your forehand and your right hand. Essentially what he's saying is you practice the beliefs, the rules, and the ways of the system. And so God has you marked. Oh, that one right there. Lest they repent, when I come back, all of the things that offend in my kingdom, they're going to be plucked out.
And a lot of Israel, they not going to give up that teaching, because why? Israel, they love conspiracy. Anything that they feel is some type of conspiracy and stuff like that, it excites them. The truth is boring to them. Okay. Now, we're going to go ahead. We read that 2 Thessalonians 3:1.
No, we didn't read it yet.
Okay. Yeah, so again, when we read Colossians 3 and 4, Paul was basically, again, he was just praying. Well, he was telling the Israelites in Colossae, he said, hey, pray with me that this word can go forth free without suppression by what? The powers to be of Satan's government. All right? Because remember, a lot of stuff happened to the children of Christ's government. They was locked up. Right, went to prison. They was beaten. Many of them was put to death. All of that because they were a threat. Now we're gonna go to 2 Thessalonians 3. 2 Thessalonians 3 and 1. And when you get there, well, you're gonna read verse 1 and 2. When you get there, go ahead.
Okay. Finally, brethren, pray for us that the word of the Lord may have free course and be glorified, even as it is with you.
It says that the word of the Lord may not be suppressed. That's what it's saying. Verse 2.
And that we may be delivered from unreasonable and wicked men.
Of Satan's government. Go ahead.
For all men have not faith.
In Christ in his government.
Mm.
All right. Back to Colossians chapter 4. And we're going to read verse 5. When you get there, go ahead.
Walk in wisdom toward them that are without, redeeming the time.
Because the day is going to come, brothers and sisters, where this government of Satan is going to be no more. And that's whether you die or Christ return. This system or this government, brothers and sisters, it will be abolished. And the government of Christ will reign supreme on this earth. And so guess what? It's a warning to the Israelites. Hey, you need to come out of her, my people. Come up out of this government and come to the government of God. We at this point, what we doing is we are heralding another king. And that king is who? Christ. You either going to stay on Satan's side or you going to get on this new king who's being heralded right now. You're going to get on his side. And depending on whose side you choose, brothers and sisters, that's going to decide your fate. Let's go real quick to Ephesians chapter 5. Ephesians 5, and we're going to read verses 14 through 18. Ephesians chapter 5, verses 14 through 18, because remember in Colossians 4 and 5, Paul said, hey, redeeming the time. Walk in wisdom, redeeming the time. Go ahead.
Wherefore he saith, awake thou that sleepest, and arise from the dead, and Christ shall give thee light.
Sounds a lot like Ezekiel 37.
Mm.
Awake thou that sleepest, thou that is asleep in the noonday in broad daylight. He said, wake up. Be aware of the devices of Satan. Be aware of his government. Because when you operating in Satan's government, you allow yourself to be used by him. It's just like you did. But it says, Christ shall give thee what? Light. And see, the thing is, brothers and sisters, we ain't out of the government of Satan yet. We among it. Okay? Unfortunately. However, Christ will give you that light, and he is that light, and he's in you, and you operate in his government. But the thing is, though you're among the government of Satan, he'll allow you to navigate through Satan's system, so that way you don't be pierced through with many sorrows. So that way you're not harmed, you're not hurt. You could see the pitfalls, you could see the trap, you could see when men are trying to deceive you, take advantage of you. And even if they do deceive you and take advantage of you, guess what? Satan flipped that. The Lord flipped that thing.
Sure do.
That deceit and that harm will turn into a blessing because God will see to it that it does. And we know that through Balaam. You can't bless what God has cursed, and you can't curse what God has blessed. So he letting you know, hey, you operate in my system, you do things my way, hey, I will give you wisdom to walk in this world without being harmed, without being destroyed. And if you are caught in the trap, I'll cause that trap to be turned into a blessing. And your enemy will end up in turn falling in the trap and being destroyed, because that's how the Lord get down. This is why we need the Lord, brothers and sisters. Okay. Verse 15. Go ahead.
See then that you walk circumspectly.
Meaning you walk with caution. Go ahead.
Not as fools, but as wise.
Because fools, especially in Satan's government, They're not cautious.
Mm-hmm.
These are people that like to pretend to be in fantasy land. No, it means you're watching. You're watching for the pitfalls. You're watching for the traps. You're watching for the deceit, the dishonesty.
Mm-hmm.
You're watching how people move against you. You're watching.
Mm-hmm.
But a fool doesn't do that. The fool believes that they don't have any enemies.
Mm-hmm.
The fool doesn't believe that there is a government, that there is a system.
Mm-hmm.
The fool says, yeah, you just got to work harder. That's what the fool says,
Mm-hmm.
but not the wise. The wise understand that there are principalities, powers, and spiritual wickedness in high places. The wise understands that.
Mm-hmm.
And they move what? Accordingly.
Accordingly.
You don't walk in fear. You don't allow it to immobilize you, but you proceed with caution, understanding that every action has a reaction. Verse 16.
Redeeming the time, because the days are evil.
And they are evil. And when the days are evil, here come God, busting heads. And if you caught up in the evil, your head will be busted.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. Verse 17.
Wherefore be ye not unwise.
So he says, be not unwise.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Because if you're unwise, you're not going to work, you're not going to walk circumspectly. You're going to be in this system of Satan living it up without a care in the world. But like the days of Noah, the water's going to wash you right away
Mm-hmm.
in the form of God's judgment. Go ahead.
But understanding what the will of the Lord is.
And what the will of the Lord is Christ in you and loving your brothers and sisters, establishing his government on his earth. That is the will of God.
Mm-hmm.
That's the will of God right there. Mm-hmm. And the wise understands that. Okay. Go ahead.
And
wait, because the will of Satan is what? Lust and pleasure. But the Lord says, abandon those things and walk after me. Because to walk in lust and pleasures is to hurt your brothers and sisters. Because you doing whatever you doing it to somebody. Mm-hmm. And that's harming them. But the Lord say, abandon those things. Love your brothers and sisters. Establish peace, honesty, marriage, righteousness, integrity. Okay. Go ahead.
And be not drunk with wine, wherein is excess, but be filled with the Spirit.
So be not drunk with what? Lust and pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you're drunk with lust, so just think about it, when you're drunk, brothers and sisters, you're not aware of what's going on, what's happening to you, or what's going on around you. And guess what? You can be taken advantage of. And you won't even know it until the drunken stupor is over. Well, he say, guess what? He say, you know what can induce drunkenness, like the actual drink? He's telling you. He's not joking. He's literally being serious. Lust and pleasure. Mm-hmm. That can induce the same thing. That's why people out here sleep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-mm-mm.
This is good.
Mm-mm-mm.
So not understanding what the will of the Lord is in his kingdom, that's what makes you be a fool.
That's
it
right.
Makes you be unwise, because you have to first know what God's will is, and that's what's missing in our people. They don't know what their purpose is here. They
And,
don't know who they
and
are.
Satan got you distracted. Now I ain't gonna play it all the way. But as soon as you start asking questions, you start getting closer to God. First thing that happen. That's how they get you. That's how Satan. That
That's
right
how
there.
they get you, stuff like that.
That's them
Entertainment.
lust. That's them lust and pleasures. That's how Satan. That's how Satan. That's how he rock you right back to sleep.
That's right.
With them lust and pleasures. So guess what? You unaware. As soon as you start figuring out Satan and his government, that's what he got for you.
Yep.
He got that right there for you.
Are you ready for some football? That's how he get you.
You remember you told me that thing on that show Stranger Things?
Oh yeah, there was a scene on Stranger Things.
And
I don't know if y'all
before
seen
you
it.
explain it, when she explained it, I kid you not, I was reading the book, The 12 Caesars, and one of the Caesars actually did, because the Caesars made a dumb decree, and the people wanted the Caesar's head for it. But what she finna explain is what that Caesar did, and that was all the way back in the ancient time. Go ahead, Zora.
Yeah, so on that show on Stranger Things, there was a mayor. He had upset the town with something he did. I forgot what it was. But anyway, the townspeople was upset, boy. They wanted him gone. So the sheriff had came and approached them because the townspeople was outside. They was rioting, protesting, or whatever like that. So the sheriff, he came in and was like, basically trying to reason with them. Hey man, it shouldn't be like this. Just give the people what they want or whatever. The man said, oh no, they'll cool down. He was like, I ain't even worried about it. Because he said, you worry about these people going to hurt you and stuff. He said, I ain't worried about it. He said, you gonna see what I'm gonna do. And he said, well, what you gonna do? He said, I'm gonna
put on a carnival.
I'm gonna host a carnival. I'm gonna put on a carnival for the townspeople. And the sheriff, he was looking like he's like, man, these people go kill you. But sure enough, when he brought in that carnival and stuff, and all of the people saw the rides, and they seen the different,
the
how it is at the carnival.
Yep,
cotton candy and popcorn, and they forgot all about it. And the mayor even spoke at the carnival. He didn't have no security around him.
Same one they wanted to kill.
And the same people that was angry at him, those same people, they forgot all about it. They were listening to him, and he had them laughing. I said that's how they do.
And I kid you not, one of the Caesars did that. In that book I had read. He said, don't worry, officials coming, tell what you gonna do, quell these riotings and all this stuff. He said, don't worry about it, just put on this at the time the little amphitheater thing.
Yeah.
That's what he put on. And then he said, then I want you to put up circuses.
Yeah.
In some of the provinces. And sure enough, it quelled all the rioting. Now people forgot why they was even out there protesting.
Right.
The Lord them right to sleep. That's how Satan get down.
That's why entertainment is so big.
Right?
That's one of Satan's greatest tools right there. Because it's pleasure.
Yeah.
Year-round pleasure.
And that pleasure and that lust, the Lord is letting you know, that's what caused you to be drunk. It puts you in a drunken stupor. Your awareness gets cut off. You forget why you was mad. Even these heathen, when they get upset and they get angry, oh man, the money, and they taking up jobs, and hey, the government and stuff, they don't freak out. We got a distraction for you. Hey, $1,000 off all TVs. All them jokers forget.
They all sure do.
Oh, instead of Black Friday being one day, well, we'll make it the whole week. That's right, Lord, you right back to sleep.
And you're right about being drunk with those lusts and things, because what's in the woman's cup in Revelation Chapter 17, it said she had a golden cup in her hand, and that's what they drunk their wine out of and stuff in the ancient days. Well, what's in it? All of them, the Lord told you, all of those different abominations and sins.
That's right.
And it's not just some sins. This is stuff that different lusts, the things that men like to do that's against God.
And if you find out about the woman and what she doing with the cup and the pleasures and stuff like that, giving it to the world and stuff, you find out about her and you try to attack her and go against her. That's what that beast is for. That's she riding on to destroy you. Use that beast as her weapon.
Yep. Her fist.
And guess what?
Yeah.
Naturally, we are that enemy as the Israelites of Christ.
Right.
See, that's what we up against, brothers. So that's what I've been trying to tell y'all.
Yep, Michael, get him a stimulus check. That quiet him up quick.
Sure, yeah.
That's right, RJ Lloyd. This is crazy, raising the prices in the store. We can hardly afford. Oh, y'all got these elections coming up. Put them right back to sleep.
Every time.
Play that patriotic music, they them jokers gone.
But that light of Christ exposes, because essentially what that light does, because it says, and Christ shall give thee light. When you think about light exposes things, because we're in darkness. This government is dark. It's led by Satan, and Satan has schemes and tricks, and the Bible tells you the wiles of the devil that he uses. Well, what Christ does, he exposes those things to you, so you can see clearly. You can see the games, you can see the manipulation, you can see the deceit, you can see straight through them distractions.
And the
but
government
the fools cannot see.
See, in the government of Christ too, there's transparency. You wide open, you ain't hide nothing. That's why these men, they don't like the system of Christ. Because I gotta be transparent. I can't be manipulating and deceiving. I don't like that, man. See? Now, we read all that Ephesians, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
18.
Yes, sir. All right, now we can go back to Colossians chapter 4. And we're going to read verse 6. Okay, go ahead.
Let your speech be always with grace, seasoned with salt, that you may know how you ought to answer every man.
Which is by doing what? Walking in wisdom. Let's go real quick to 1 Peter 3. First Peter 3, and we're going to read verse 15 through 18. Okay, when you get there, go ahead.
But sanctify the Lord God in your hearts, and be ready always to give an answer to every man that asketh you a reason of the hope that is in you, with meekness and fear, having a good conscience, that whereas they speak evil of you as of evildoers,
that's right,
they may be ashamed that falsely accuse your good conversation in Christ,
or good works in Christ. And they speak of you as evildoers. Why? Because you're going against this government, this system. And so you a party pooper. You seen as a rebel, an insurrectionist. But yet you're not doing anyone any harm. If anything, you're bringing peace. You're bringing transparency, honesty, encouragement, integrity, marriage. These are the things you're promoting. And you operate in those things too. So though they speak of you as evildoers, your works condemn them and show that, hey, you're actually the one that's evil. Go ahead.
For it is better, if the will of God be so, that you suffer for well-doing than for evil-doing. For Christ also have once suffered for sins, the just for the unjust, that he might bring us to God, being put to death in the flesh, but quickened by the Spirit.
And just know, when you don't operate in the government of Satan, you're going to stick out like a sore thumb. And people, they're going to come up against you. They're going to try to harm you and hurt you, because even if they don't know, even if they know you don't operate in the system of Christ, they do know you ain't operating in their system.
Mm-hmm.
So they say it's something about her.
Right.
It's something about him. They different.
Mhm.
And these people, they gonna begin to attack you.
Mhm.
Now, like Zahara said in her lesson she just did, you ain't gotta be in fear. You ain't gotta be afraid of those things. Because it come with the territory. We understand. We don't, we don't count it a strange thing to suffer and be afflicted. Because guess what? We are operating by another kingdom and by another government's rules. And people, they can discern that.
Mhm. Yep.
The way they speak, the way they carry themselves, the confidence that they have. They're abiding by someone else's rules. They're taking orders from someone.
Mhm.
They just don't know who, but we know who, and it's God.
That's right.
All
That's
right.
right.
And that was all of it.
Oh yeah, that was all of that.
Yep. All righty. We're going to go back to Colossians chapter 4. And now we're going to read verses 7 through 9. And when you get there, go ahead.
All my state shall Tychicus declare unto you, who is a beloved brother and a faithful minister and fellow servant in the Lord,
Okay. So, well, I'm going to just let you keep reading. Go ahead.
whom I have sent unto you for the same purpose, that he might know your estate and comfort your hearts.
Mm-hmm.
With Onesimus,
So with Onesimus,
a faithful and beloved brother, who is one of you, they shall make known unto you all things which are done here.
Okay, so Tychicus and Onesimus, they basically were companions of Paul in his travels, and of course, Paul was always, being imprisoned. Okay, so a lot of times, or he was just somewhere else. He had to be somewhere else because God wanted him in a certain place. So he would send guys like Onesimus and Tychus to check on things, basically. That's essentially what they were doing. So they pretty much were like a messenger and mediator between Paul and the different churches to see how they were doing, their well-being. Was they keeping the faith, holding to the faith, what kind of enemies they was dealing with. And they would bring that message back to Paul, back and forth from Paul to the churches and from the churches back to Paul. Okay. Which lets you know that the leaders of God, they actually care. Because the leaders of Satan, they don't, man, when I tell you, they don't care what go on with their congregation or their servants or the people under them. They could care less. I don't care if they alive or dead.
Yep.
I care if they rich, poor, falling apart. As long as I got mine, as long as I'm doing well, that's how they get down. But it ain't so with Christ and his leaders.
And check on ours.
We check on ours. Okay. Now, we're going to read verses 10 through 15. Okay. So now Paul, he's going to be pretty much saluting all his fellow companions in travel, doing the work of God. Go ahead. Colossians 4
Aristarchus,
and 10.
Aristarchus, my fellow prisoner, saluteth you,
That's right.
and Marcus, sister's son, to Barnabas, touching whom you received commandments.
So Marcus, he was the son of Barnabas' sister. So Barnabas, he had a sister, and his sister bore Marcus. Okay, go ahead.
And Jesus, which is called Justice, who are of the circumcision,
Okay, which means they were Jews. Go ahead.
These only are my fellow workers unto the kingdom of God, which have been a comfort unto me.
That's right. So these are men that helped Paul. They helped him bear his burden. Go ahead.
Epaphras, who is one of you, a servant of Christ, saluteth you, always laboring fervently for you in prayers.
That's right. So Epaphras, he was of Colossae. That's why I say he was one of you, not just because he was a follower of Christ, but also he was a Colossian. He was from Colossae. Go ahead.
That you may stand perfect and complete in all the will of God.
Mm-hmm.
For I bear him record that he have a great zeal for you.
That's right. So he was on top of the Israelites in Colossae. Go ahead.
And them that are in Laodicea.
Laodicea. Okay.
And them in Hierapolis.
Okay. Verse 14.
Luke, the beloved physician, and Demas greet you.
So we see Luke right there. And then Demas says, greet you. 15.
Salute the brethren which are in Laodicea and Nymphus, and the church which is in his house.
In the church that is in his house. Okay. Now we're going to finish up, brothers and sisters. I'm not breaking any of this down because it's pretty straightforward. Verses 16 through 18. Go ahead.
And when this epistle is read among you,
So when this letter is read among you,
cause that it be read also in the church of the Laodiceans.
So those churches there, so the church of Laodicea, we know that they also was read this letter, this same letter that was written to the Colossians. Okay, so it's not the letter of the Colossians, it's a letter written to the Colossians.
Mm-hmm.
So in this same letter that was written to the Colossians, this was the same letter written to the Laodiceans. Go ahead.
And that you likewise read the epistle from Laodicea.
Okay, so Paul wrote a letter also to Laodicea. Okay, and so the same letter he wrote to Laodicea, he wanted that same letter also read to the Colossians. Now, that means there is a letter that he wrote to Laodicea. However, we don't have that letter. So we don't know what he told the Laodiceans, but we can imagine that it was the same thing he told the Colossians, the Thessalonians,
And it
the
shows you that.
Ephesians. Go ahead.
And I was going to say it, but it just shows you that the leaders in the government of God are transparent.
And they care.
Because remember in, I think it was Jeremiah 23,
Mm.
the Lord said the pastors didn't care about the sheep. They didn't come visit them, when they were afflicted and diseased. He said, you didn't care about them. You just took advantage of them. So these are pastors after God's own heart. Checking on the brothers and sisters, making sure they good, checking on their welfare, their well-being, giving them instructions. Why? Because they care about the children of Israel. The children of Israel are scattered into all of these places we reading about. So they're just looking out for their brethren. Because guess what? We all we got. Yeah. The heathens are over us.
Right.
Oppressing us.
This they system.
Yeah. So essentially, hey, y'all, we got to look out for one another.
Because they got support groups. They have different assistance things to make sure they good. We ain't got that. So we got to create. We have to be that for each other. Mm-hmm. Essentially what they're saying. Okay. Verse 17.
And say to Archippus, take heed to the ministry which thou hast received in the Lord, that thou fulfill it.
Okay, so he make sure you do just what the Lord told you you're supposed to do. Make sure you complete your mission. Okay, go ahead.
The salutation by the hand of me, Paul. Remember my bonds. Grace be with you. Amen.
Yep, so he said, remember my chains, and which also means remember my affliction. So they was going through it, boy. But that's it, brothers and sisters. I hope you guys got some understanding. wasn't really too much I had to explain in this chapter. I mean, everything was pretty much self-explanatory. So, of course, I don't try to make the videos long and I don't try to make them short. Just kind of finish when we finish. I have no idea, once again, which book I'm going to do next, but I always just let the Lord lead me. That's all I do. I be thinking I'm finna do one book, and the Lord was like, nope, you're doing this right over here. And that's how it gets down, brothers and sisters. So that's it. I thank you guys for your time. Continue to read the Bible on your own. Don't just listen to me. Make sure you're doing your own studies, writing your own notes, and coming to your own conclusions. Take it further. Because all I'm doing is guiding you. That's all I can do. Okay? So I thank you for your time, brothers and sisters. And with that, shalom.